On this video, we're going to discuss some of the most effective ways to develop an ear for how to DJ. Keep it locked. Welcome to the DJ Network. I'm DJ Busby. Let's get things started. Now, I know some of you guys got to this video and maybe saying to yourself, come on, where are the videos about actually DJing? But there's a lot to learn and understand before you even reach the turntables. Relating it to something like swimming. The instructor doesn't just throw you into the deep end and expect you to swim. Before you even dip your toe into the shallow end, they'll explain a lot of the fundamentals and give demonstrations of how to do certain things, which is what we'll be doing here with DJing. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, subscribe to the channel for more upcoming videos that will help you in understanding the inner dynamics of DJing. Today, we're going to talk about how to develop an ear for DJing. Now, this may seem very basic, but there's a lot we need to discuss. First of all, if you're watching this, it likely means you're here on YouTube, which is the perfect place for us to start this conversation. Once you've decided to pursue anything, it's usually a good idea to do some research on the field before you really get into it. The multi-billion-dollar website YouTube is one of the #1 resources for answering any question you have. Think about it. Normally, if you want to find out how to whatever it is, you usually, and the average person usually, would go onto YouTube and type in how to whatever you're trying to look for, and there'll be several informative videos available for you to watch for free. So to start, any general questions you have about DJing, I would typically type into YouTube. To further utilize this platform, several DJs worldwide upload their mixes and even live recordings of their sets at gigs. Now, you may already have your favorite DJ or you're aware of who's some of the top DJs. So what I would do is start there. Start with the people you already know. Start observing and paying attention to cues and how they do their thing. Now, if that DJ has developed a large fan base, 9 times out of 10, what they're doing is likely along the right path. If you're starting from scratch and don't know any good DJs, a good indicator would just be to type DJ mixes in YouTube, or to take it a step further, I would add the genre, your favorite genre that you know a lot about. So for instance, something like hip hop DJ mixes or soca DJ mixes. When you do that, YouTube has a filter option where you can filter out the videos from the highest viewed to the least viewed videos. So you'll want to pay more attention to the higher viewed mixes because once again, a larger audience is generally an indicator that the DJ is doing something right. And that's not to say DJs with low view counts are not good, but as you're starting, it's important to study the top players in your field. Conversely, there are some DJ mixes and DJ mix videos on YouTube that have millions of views, but we could all agree sound pretty terrible. Now, their mixes may have just gotten a lot of views because they have some clickbait title or something of that nature. So they are doing something right, but it may not be the fundamentals of DJing. So it's up to you to use your discernment, to use your judgment on which mixes appeal to you the most, being somebody that has an ear for music. So at this point, now that you've found the mixes, it's time to listen to them. Hear the style of mixing, how they do what they do, and how they blend songs together. Just get a feel for it. Getting into DJing likely means you already have some sort of knowledge and understanding of music in general. So the typical music lover can hear a song and generally determine, okay, that song sounds good or it sounds bad. The same general method applies to DJing. Some mixes sound good, some sound bad. And you already know the type of music you want to hear, but generally you can hear when it's mixed well or when it's mixed poorly. Now, beyond mixes and mixtapes, I would also look for DJs that upload their live sets where the camera catches the crowd so you could see the crowd's reaction to what the DJ's playing. And here is where you can get a feel of the songs that work for a crowd. So if you watch multiple videos, let's just say for dancehall or reggae, and you see that in multiple videos, the DJ is using similar songs but mixed in their own unique style, but that particular song is working every time it plays in each of those parties, it's probably a good indicator you should have those songs in your crates. Something else to keep in mind is there's no one style of DJing. The way a DJ plays on a mixtape is going to be different than the way that they play in the club, which will also be different to how they play in a wedding, which is again going to be different than how they would play on radio. So keep that in mind. Depending which piece of content you're absorbing, where you're listening to the music being DJ'd, that's important to understand how they're working the turntables in that environment. and knowing that it's a different method of DJing for each of those places, speaking generally. So beyond YouTube, another two of my favorite resources for listening to DJ mixes is SoundCloud and Apple Podcasts. Now, SoundCloud is by far my favorite app for discovering new DJs and hearing DJ mixes. This platform seems to have a large fan base and the least rules when it comes to copyright strikes on your account. It used to be really bad, but I think they've alleviated that a lot. So I think most DJs just naturally gravitate towards SoundCloud and update their mixes and upload their mixes there. Now, typically you're gonna listen to these mixes on the go, when you're driving or when you're walking or when you have something to do. iPhone users, you guys are gonna love me for this one. If you enjoy DJ mixes, one of the best platforms to listen to them on is Apple Podcasts. There are so many benefits to listening to mixes on here versus, let's say, a YouTube or a SoundCloud. Like the ability to download and listen to your mixes offline for free, the ability to skip backwards and forwards in your audio record in your mix 10 seconds. You could resume where you left off in the mix, even if you close the app. Let's say you have something to do. Also, you could search up my name and give me a follow for making your life that much easier. And for those of you that already love my DJing, please go and drop a 5-star rating and write a review on Apple Podcasts for DJ Busby because it helps my page get discovered by way more people. Now, aside from searching up these mixes online, a couple avenues I would use to really hear how DJs do their thing live would be something like radio or going out to the actual nightclubs and observing the art in first person in real life and seeing how the dynamics of DJing actually work, especially when that headliner DJ is on. Just watch the crowd and see how they do their thing. And normally, once you go down that road, you start seeing different little bits and pieces that you could take from other DJs and apply in your own unique way. So now that you've listened to some mixes and you've taken down some notes on how it's done, what I would do from this point is isolate a couple clean mixes and transitions that you heard in those particular places where you studied, and take those, write down the exact songs, the two songs that were mixed together, and make a note of exactly where in the song the mix took place. So now that you've taken down those songs, understood where the transition point is in those songs, and it's time for you to go now and give that mix a try, you may be saying to yourself, well, I'm still in the learning phase, I don't have any equipment of my own, and I don't know anybody with equipment that I could try this on. So how am I supposed to do this mix and practice if I don't have anything? Well, that's what the DJ Network is here for. To get a feel for the basics of DJing, you could download the free DJ software that me and many of the DJs that started in the digital era of DJing originally downloaded. And that's Virtual DJ, a completely free program, a software that essentially has all the fundamentals you need to mix songs together. I left the link where you could download this free software down below in the description, and you could download it on either Mac or Windows. And once you have it downloaded, I would take some time to observe the inner workings of the program. Generally, the main components you really want to identify are how to upload songs into Virtual DJ, the play and stop buttons, the keyboard cues that are associated with these things, the BPM, which is how to identify the speed of one song versus the other song. It'll give actual points of how fast the tempo is going. BPM is beats per minute. How to adjust the BPM and identifying where the crossfader is to do the transition from one song to the other. Now, I know starting from ground zero, that sounded like a lot, but I've given you guys the keys, the fundamentals of at least where to start looking. So all of the things I just mentioned, you could rewind back, take down notes on those things, and simply go onto YouTube and search up, well, what are these things? How do I find them in Virtual DJ? And there'll be several tutorials, but most importantly, we'll have one coming on the DJ Network very soon. So make sure you subscribe for that. And probably the most important button for you right now, not in the future, but right now, identify where the sync button is. Because the sync button will automatically adjust the tempo of both tracks to line up and be the exact same. And if you press the button at the right time, it will automatically merge the two songs where all you have to do is move the crossfader for the mix. Now, again, I'll be doing a more in-depth video on the science behind these items, but I just pointed you in the right direction. So give it a shot. I would suggest just giving it a try on your own. Nobody's watching you or listening to you right now, so that's something you don't have to worry about just yet. You could check back to my latest video on the DJ Network for a free method you could use to download those 2 songs that you may have picked out. Make sure to check that video out because that one has some tips and tricks of where to get all your music for your crates online. Now, what I did when I was in your shoes, when I was just starting out as a DJ, I had zero knowledge of DJing. I did exactly what I'm telling you guys to do, and I was playing around with the buttons and just used my common sense with the tools that I found on Virtual DJ to try to replicate a couple mixes that drew me into the art of DJing. And they weren't the most complex because, you know, there's a lot of mixes with scratching and whatnot. It was very basic mixes of songs that I liked, but I literally just tried my best to replicate that simple mix and understand the dynamics of how to mix 2 songs together. Now, although that method didn't teach me everything I needed to know for DJing at the start of my process, going through the trial and error process of being hands-on in the program definitely helped when it came time to get behind the turntables. And that's it, guys. Those are some of my tips to studying the craft of DJing and being able to get a feel and develop the right sound to help you build your audience. Let us know in the comment section down below if you have any other methods you would suggest, and let's help share the knowledge amongst the DJs. I want to utilize the comment section as a sort of forum to continue the conversation after this video because I don't know it all, and I'm relying on the people tuning into this video to also give their 2 cents below, and I may learn something that I never knew before. So we're just trying to provide as much value to our community as possible. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to comment down below. Make sure to share the video with a DJ you know could use a hand. And definitely make sure to hit that subscribe button for more content like this. We'll see you on the next one.